Let's look at two types of nuclear reactions that both produce large amounts of energy. The first type is a fission reaction. And fission is a word that is used to describe the splitting apart or breaking of something. So in nuclear fission, you have the splitting apart of a heavy nucleus into smaller or lighter nuclei. It also produces neutrons. The symbol for neutrons are 1, 0, N. The result of this nuclear fission reaction is a lot of energy. Right here is an example of the nuclear fission reaction used in a nuclear power plant. I should also put here that it produces energy. How much energy is illustrated by an example in your book, where it mentions that 1 gram of methane in natural gas produces 13 kilocalories of energy. That would be a chemical reaction. While 1 gram of the uranium-235 can produce 3.4 times 10 to the 8th kilocalories of energy. So you can see here why a nuclear fission reaction would be very attractive when thinking about producing power. Now there are some complications. One of them we're well aware of, and that is that the waste generated from a nuclear reaction is radioactive. In some countries, they are getting very good at recycling this radioactive waste. But it can be a storage problem as you produce radioactive waste that has half-lives that are very, very long. The other problem is that this type of reaction is a chain reaction. So when we look here, you start with the uranium-234 and it's bombarded or hit with neutrons. This causes the fission reaction where it breaks into krypton and a barium isotope, but it also makes 3 more neutrons. Well, remember back here we need neutrons for this reaction. So each one of these neutrons could again react with another uranium, and each uranium would produce more energy. And this would continue on. And this chain reaction, if you had a critical mass of uranium, would result in an explosion if not controlled. In a nuclear power plant, they control these reactions with boron rods that absorb the neutrons. So remember, nuclear fission is the splitting apart of a large nucleus into smaller nuclei. It also produces neutrons. These reactions create lots of energy and are what are used in nuclear power plants. A disadvantage is the waste, that it's radioactive. Also, this could cause a chain reaction if not monitored very carefully. In modern nuclear power plants, they do monitor the reaction carefully. The second type of nuclear reaction that will generate large amounts of energy is a nuclear fusion reaction. Fusion means bringing together or joining. So here you can see this is joining together 2 smaller nuclei to form one that's larger. This reaction also produces lots of energy. In fact, this is the reaction of the sun and the stars. Here is a fusion reaction. So you see you have 2 isotopes of hydrogen, smaller, and they come together to form a larger isotope of helium. Now this reaction is a very clean nuclear reaction. It would not have the waste problem. But here's the catch. A nuclear fusion reaction, which is on the sun and the stars, has extreme experimental conditions, the conditions of the sun and the stars. It has to have a high temperature, which if you look here, what is that, 100 million degrees Celsius, and a high pressure of 100,000 8,000 atmospheres. Think our normal room temperature is somewhere around 25 degrees Celsius, and our normal atmospheric pressure is somewhere around 1 atmosphere. Scientists have attempted to try to create this nuclear fusion reaction in a lab. They call it cold fusion. While some scientists have claimed success, no one else has been able to reproduce it. And as far as we know, the cold fusion has not been successful. But it's still fun to understand that this fusion reaction a nuclear reaction is what helps our sun and stars have a lot of their energy.